Today, we're diving into something that sounds a little wild but is absolutely essential for building modern software that doesn't fall over when you need it most. We're talking about chaos engineering. And yeah, it's all about embracing failure to make our systems way, way stronger. So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about why things are pretty much guaranteed to break. Then, we'll get into what this idea of controlled chaos really means. We'll look at the science behind it, how you can actually do it safely, and finally, wrap up with the huge payoff you get from all this. Okay, let's start at the beginning. Why do we even need something like chaos engineering? Well, think about today's systems. They're not simple anymore. They're distributed, spread all over the cloud, with a million little moving parts. And that complexity, it changes the game completely. This right here, this is the one question that keeps engineers awake at night. It's not a question of if something will break, it's when and how. And figuring that out ahead of time, instead of during a 3 a.m. emergency call, is what this is all about.
So, this is the big mindset shift. We have to stop thinking we can prevent every single failure. That's just not going to happen. The new goal is to build systems that actually expect failure and can handle it gracefully when it shows up.
Right. So if we're accepting that failures are going to happen, how do we prepare? And that's where this idea of controlled chaos comes in. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a vaccine for your software. You're injecting a tiny, controlled version of a problem to teach the system how to fight off the real thing down the road. Now, you might be thinking, don't we already have testing? And we do, but this is a totally different tool for a different job. Look here. Traditional testing is for the knowns. It checks that your code does what you think it does, usually in a nice, stable environment. Chaos engineering, it does the exact opposite. It assumes the world is unstable, and it goes looking for the scary unknowns. It's the difference between checking if a door is locked versus running a full-on fire drill to see what really happens when things get crazy.
So here's the official definition, but I want you to really focus on a few keywords here. Discipline, experimenting, and controlled. This isn't about just randomly breaking things for fun. It's a structured, scientific process for finding your system's weak spots in a way you can actually manage and, most importantly, learn from.
And that brings us to the real goal here. This isn't about being destructive. It's about building rock-solid, unbreakable confidence. Confidence for your engineering team and confidence for your customers that your service is going to be there when they need it. Okay, so how do we actually do this without, causing actual chaos? It all comes down to following a pretty strict scientific method. This is what separates real chaos engineering from just, pulling the plug and hoping for the best. And this process is a loop. It's basically science in action, right? You start by figuring out what normal looks like for your system. We call that the steady state. Then you make a guess, a hypothesis about what's going to happen when you break something. Then you carefully inject that failure, watch what happens, and, this is the most important part, you learn from it and make your system better. Then you do it all over again. And I can't stress this enough. Before you can spot something weird, you have to know what normal looks like. This steady state is your baseline. It's all your key health metrics, like how fast things are running or your error rates. Without that baseline, you have no idea if your experiment is having a huge impact or no impact at all. All right, let's get practical. How do you run these experiments without giving everyone a heart attack? Well, it's all about safety, being careful, and using the right tools for the job. Seriously, safety is job number one. You always start small. You want to limit what we call the blast radius, basically the potential impact of your experiment. You have to have a big red stop button you can hit at any time. And you never, ever do this blind. Having great monitoring isn't a nice to have, it's an absolute must. So, what kind of things do we actually break? Well, we can simulate what happens when a whole server just dies. Or maybe we inject a little bit of network lag to see how our services handle it. We could even max out a server's CPU or memory to see if the system can heal itself. These are all things that happen for real in the wild.
And the best part? You don't have to build all this stuff from scratch. There's a whole world of amazing tools out there that can help you run these experiments safely and effectively, no matter what kind of environment you're working in.
Now, a big question is where you should do this. Starting out in your testing pipelines is a fantastic, super safe way to begin. But the most valuable lessons, the ones that give you that true, battle-tested confidence, those come from running very small, very carefully controlled experiments right there in production. That's the ultimate test.
So let's talk about the best part, the payoff. Why would you go through all this effort to carefully break your own stuff? Because the value you get back is just massive.
I mean, look at this. The value here is so clear.
On one side, you're improving all the things your customers love: reliability, availability, all that good stuff. And on the other side, you're reducing all the things they hate: long outages, nasty surprises, and the overall impact of any problems. It's a huge win-win.
And think about the alternative for a second. Without this, you're basically just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. You're assuming your system is resilient, but you've never actually proven it. So when something inevitably breaks, everyone is surprised, nobody is prepared, and the whole incident just drags on and on. You know, if there's one single idea to take away from all this, it's this right here. Chaos engineering takes the scary, unpredictable nature of failure, and it turns it into a safe, predictable, and super valuable chance to learn and get better.
So, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. When it comes to your systems, is your resilience just something you assume, or is it something you've actually proven? Thanks for watching.